Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and oh my god, I hate what the kids do. They stayed up, or rather Jackson stayed up till almost midnight. I don't know what time he actually fell asleep. We could not get them to sleep for the life of us. And they just woke up at almost 8. I hate what they do. At least I got this. Try and give me energy. It's a Swiss chocolate Monster Java energy drink. And yes, I rarely drink energy drinks, but I do. There are two different ones that I drink. It's this one, the Swiss chocolate one, and the salted caramel one. They both taste good. Salted caramel one doesn't have too much of a taste of coffee, though this one doesn't have hardly any coffee taste to it. But the salted caramel one does have a coffee taste, but not as strong enough to where I can't handle it because I don't drink coffee normally. Heck, if I ever go to Starbucks, I usually get a Frappuccino, so that doesn't have coffee in it. Anyway. You guys know what's coming. This is going to be my review for Dragon Ball Z Kai episode 97. This episode, essentially, is them heading to the lookout, where Dende and Mr. Popo are waiting. And, yeah, apparently Vegeta said he's never gonna fight again. I highly doubt that. Because even though Goku's gone, I highly doubt he's gonna lose, I highly doubt he's gonna slack off on his training. That's not in him to do that. But yeah, the others head up there without Vegeta because Vegeta is not going with them. And they summon the dragon, obviously. And Krillin wants to not destroy Android 18 because he kind of has a thing for her. And when she regains consciousness, because she's still alive at this point, you know, she's aggressive. She doesn't like that she was brought there or anything. She's still, you know, but she still kind of has a sort of acting like she has a thing for him as she leaves. But she leaves right as they're summoning the dragon, so she stops and hides to watch what's going on. And they obviously bring back all the people that died, thanks to Cell, including Trunks, and Trunks wakes up right when that happens. Or comes back to life, I should say, right when that happens. And which means that 17 should be brought back as well, because he kind of was killed, if you want to call it that. I guess he was killed. And they were trying to figure out, they were gonna bring Goku back because obviously they want him back, but they can't bring him back with those Dragon Balls, so they're planning on going to Namek and using theirs because there's no limit on theirs. And Goku intervenes using King Kai as a conduit and tells them that I don't want to be brought back. Use your wish for something else, essentially, because, you know, he can get training from other dead martial artists and stuff, and he can essentially keep his own body at this point, because of all the good stuff he's been doing for Earth at this point. But, yeah, essentially, he's telling them we will meet again someday, essentially. And obviously not in other worlds when they all die, but, yeah, he's not out of the picture yet. Anyway, I think Gohan ended up eating a senzu bean at this point, so I think he's okay. So they're trying to figure out what to wish for their second wish, because they still have one wish. Well, Krillin decides to ask if they can wish for Android 17 and 18 to fully become human because, they weren't exactly willing when they were made into androids or cyborgs, I guess you could say the correct term, by Dr. Gero. And Shenron says he can't do that. So instead, he asked if he can get rid of the bombs that are in their chests, so they don't have to live, with the constant fear of whether they'll end up having to make themselves go boom. And Shenron does do that. And at this point, nobody knows that Android 18 is even watching this whole thing. So Krillin's not even doing this just so he could possibly get a date from her. He's doing this because he just out of the kindness of his heart. So yeah, Android 18 is telling him, yeah, you think you did that just because you did this, I'll date you or whatever? Yeah, you're wrong. And then she kind of tells him, I'll see you later. Girl, what are you, a tsundere? And she leaves. And at this point, the dragon obviously goes by, and everybody's, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. Gohan's going to have to go home and break the news to his mother that Goku is no longer of this world. So now she's a widower. Tien tells them essentially bye, but they probably won't see him again because he's probably just going to go off and do his own thing now that all this is settled. And Trunks decides to head to Capsule Corp so he can get a much needed rest before he goes back home to his own time in the morning. And everybody agrees, we'll meet back up there so we can say bye. And Piccolo is going to be living at the Lookout still from now on because, it's still partially his home. Because as Kami, he was living there just about most of his life, if not a good portion of his life, because I don't know how old he was when he first split between King Piccolo and Kami. But yeah. Dang it, what was I gonna say? I don't know. But yeah, everybody heads back to their respective homes. Obviously, Chi-Chi is inconsolable at this point because, yeah, she just lost her husband. And obviously she's happy that Gohan's still alive, but at what cost? She lost her husband at the cost of this. And back in the other world, Goku is actually trying to help King Kai make himself a new home to live in because he actually doesn't have a place to live at this point. It kind of works, but then the house kind of crumbles when Goku, I think he pats it or something, and it crumbles. He doesn't know his own strength at this point. And it actually shows later him training with other martial artists, or fighting other martial artists in other worlds, so yeah, he's not slacking off on his training, that's for sure. Not at the moment. And yeah, they go and see Trunks off, and Vegeta doesn't say anything, but he just gives him a signal or something. I don't know if things are okay between them. Yeah, Vegeta's not going to admit it, but he does care about his future son. Present son, I'm not sure. I assume he does. But he's not going to actively show it. Like a hug or something. He's not going to actively show it. Obviously, I'm sure Bulma would give Trunks a hug. And so would her parents. But yeah, he gets in his time machine and heads home. And at this point, the episode's about over. Next episode is the fallout of what happens in, essentially, Trunks' timeline. Will he be able to destroy the androids at this point? We will see. I would think so. Considering Trunks has gotten a few Zenkai boosts since he left to go to the past. And not only that, but he's done essentially a year's worth of training in the hyperbolic time chamber with Vegeta. So yeah, I think he's more than strong enough at this point. Considering he also said that the androids that they were having to face in the past were double the strength, essentially, of the ones that he has to deal with. So if he can deal with them, or at least hold his own against them, I think he can handle his. Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so, because I'm going to go through the rest of Kai, and then I'll go to Super, obviously, and then, I guess, Dragon Ball Heroes, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.